Hello and welcome to Only Tree Entertainment, and welcome to Volume 2 for the good, the bad and the what the fucks for Arrow video. Now this morning I released the Arrow video Volume 1, and fuck my life, it was about 3 or 4 months ago. It was filmed, and of course with the good, the bad and the what the fucks, the 10 reviews smashed together, and they can take place over weeks, sometimes months. The record's 6 months, so well done Stephen. But then recently Eddie Murphy literally was in a week I watched 10 movies. And that's the last one. I haven't edited that one yet, getting to this. Now I dropped it this morning and I've had some good feedback. Again, Arrow is a really popular brand, and even people have been saying, why did you mention the Blair Witch? I don't remember mentioning the Blair Witch, but the reason why I mentioned the Blair Witch was when I met a lot of the guys from Arrow over the years at conventions and stuff, like the Blair Witch. I'd seen artwork. It was sort of just a little teepee tent, and I'm sure it had a bit of a red vibe to it. Also seen artwork for The Hitcher. 2 titles that I've never seen the light of day. You know, rumoured, but then never seen the light of day. Hitcher looks like it would be a perfect one, but you never know. So anyway, yeah, there's another thing as well. Some guy was talking about, oh, what podcast were you mentioning? I was just like, I don't remember that video. So yeah, this one's going to be pretty weird because it's going to start here and it's probably going to end up in the new house, because it's going to take us a while to get through 10 films, but I'm going to watch one tonight. But recently, me, Paul Ray and Carl, along with doing the podcast and quiz for the Burbs. Now the Burbs has appeared quite a lot over the channel. There's the Burbs post in the background. It's mainly why I'm filming this way. Strangely enough, the Burbs soundtrack is playing on the background. Love the soundtrack. Well, it's not playing in the background, it was playing the other day. I'm convinced the Burb has been already released on Blu-ray, and I was convinced I had it on American release on VHS, but there's loads of stuff Burbs in this house. And the Burbs is the first entry on this. So I was going to get that signed by Feldman, and then realised when you read choreography that he's, you know, there's lots of stories about Bubbles invading the set and stuff like that. But the idea of Arrow getting the Burbs, I was like, wow. And I've got to say, I was super hyped. Was I a little bit disappointed? Now watching the film back, it looks absolutely amazing. I think it's one of Joe Dante's best films. It's one of the greatest modern, not modern now, but like for when it was done, what it was thrown back to, stuff like Rear Window. The idea it was all shot in the back lot, you know what I mean? It was all like a 9 to 5 on the day and nights of just going to work in the studio, Now when Arrow brought it out, they brought out the Steelbook. And for a long time the Burbs used to be, you know, always purple, you know. But for a while, Burbs Uncut is what we got on DVD. I don't think that's available to grab. Oh, it is. A lot of stuff's moved in here, so this side of the room's pretty empty at the moment. I'm sure the Burbs has already been on Blu-ray. There you go. It's like a yellow. It says Uncut, like a 12. You know, so you can see the yellow there on that. The light's just going to change. But yeah, the Steelbook was very sought after. Didn't see many of this. On the back it's got the body of skulls, trunk of skulls. Inside it's got Queenie and Walter. Little booklet. And just the guys running away from the bees. Right, so one of the things about Arrow is when they brought it out, they went, what they tried to do with Big Trouble in Little China was this. So this is the original release. It has been reissued with the Tom Hanks cover on. You can always tell because it's got the rating on there. So it's a brand new concept. That looks like Graham Humphreys. Just the colours and art, I'd imagine it is. I'm guessing it is. Got the house. You've got Hans fucking whacking the shit out of the fucking trash can. The bodies. And just the gang on the front there. As always at Arrow, massive subscription. What's really good about this, they literally just went around and raped Joe Dante's fucking house for this. You get the blueprint, you get an isolated score. That again, I love the score, and you need to watch that. And it's just so well music cued all the way through. Even it's got lost cues actually on that vinyl, which is like stuff like, remember when Bat Gremlin flies up the sky? There's a cue on that. It's on like this last side. See, that's actually used in Gremlins too, not in the Burbs, but again, same director, same universe if you ask me. I mean, there's nothing wrong with literally looking like you could say that Feldman was, if they just called Feldman Pete and no one really clicked on it's the same kid from the Gremlins, that would have been class. But yeah, transfers really good. Audio commentaries are really good. Additional contents are really good. Again, if you look back at the Burbs trailer, there's a lot of scenes that's not in the movie. Again, why is it uncut? It's again in the UK. Texas Chainsaw Massacre was banned for years. So the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Exorcist, even the fact that It's a Beautiful Day, Tom Hanks, I don't know because obviously I'm English, Tom Hanks is American stuff, but the show he's watching, obviously Tom Hanks in later years would become that actor in a film, that presenter in a film, Jesus Christ. It's a Beautiful Day. But as an Arrow, it's awesome. But personally, they dropped the ball. Like, that should not be. I mean, yes, they went for the new artwork, which when it came out, everyone was like, what the fuck? Because that is so iconic to the Burbs. Tom Hanks standing there with his fucking horse pipe and flipper. And they went for the new one. The steelbook was quite sought after. That's what you're getting now. The problem is, this should have had a fat edition. I want to call them fat editions. As I rant on. What the fuck? Let's see if I can get a Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. That'll go. See there? That's a fat edition. Burbs, totally should have had that. Totally should have had that. We still haven't got around to doing the podcast for Waterworld, by the way. I'm sure I mentioned Waterworld quite a few times in this video. But yeah, I like the Burbs. You could have thrown the score in there. You could have had the work print on one take. I just think the Burbs should have had a fat pack. 12 Monkeys should have had fat pack. There's so Heathers, they all should have had fat packs like that. Heathers and 12 Monkeys didn't even have steelbooks. That I don't know of. I mean, Carl's tagged us in a few times and I wasn't sure if it was. But see, it's weird as fuck because if you look at this, go how well it did with fucking Waterworld. I'm looking at Waterworld because it's in the fish tank. Zavi is bringing out a Waterworld, which is nice, a nice cover. You know, the whole flying down the ocean, flying, he's fucking swimming, he's not fucking Peter Pan. And that's coming out, but it's not the Arrow release. It's like, what the fuck? What are you doing? So it's weird because a lot of Arrows are now starting to create up. Tremors, if you go back through all my videos of the last couple of years, I've always been ranting on about Tremors. Tremors would come to Arrow because it's Universal, and fuck my life, it has. You know, it's coming out in a couple of weeks. Tremors will probably be the 10th entry because by the time I get around to this, Tremors will probably be the last entry. But what's really fucking weird, so Burbs comes out, it's on Arrow, mint, right? Steelbook, very sought after, can't get a hold of it, very rare. Then the Burbs comes back out on the Blu-ray. Now if you check out Klopek and Klopek 2, they're really old tribute videos, very early stuff. I had a massive rant about the Burbs then, but yeah, get the fucking Burbs. Arrow Academy, right? Fuck all, special features, trailer. From the directors of Gremlins 1 and 2. Tom Hanks slapped back on the front, like literally. That came out after the Arrow release. It's just so weird. It's just really weird, especially when you talk about Universal and Universal going, hey, you know, this is on the floor, mate, come here. Yeah, have the thing. Take the thing. Take it away and see what you can do with the thing. It's awesome, the thing. And then, you know, like, the thing by Arrow, you just don't see it on the shelf. You'll see a retro version of it, or the standard release, but you just don't see the Arrow. It's just one of those things. It's really weird, Universal and Arrow. But yeah, as I say, it's a start. The Burbs is one of my favourite films of all time. While I'm recording this, the podcast isn't out. It's actually the last podcast we all got to record, and that was a few weeks ago. No one's had time. I haven't even done any solo podcasts. So the podcast should be out by the time this is done. But I can't express enough how much you get with the Arrow. Again, I am disappointed it didn't have a fat box edition. But additional content, isolated score, commentaries, behind the scenes making of, picture quality. It's fucking awesome. Soundtrack, fucking awesome. So yeah. Welcome to the Good, the Bad and the What the Fox, Volume 2 for Arrow videos. The first entry is the Burbs. Second entry, no idea. Definitely not in the mood for Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 tonight. It's fucking some weird shit. That's like eating alive weird shit. Might be someone. There's an offer coming on soon for Arrow as well, so I might get a few additional ones. But yeah, welcome to the Good, the Bad and the What the Fox. Next one. Right, the second entry, number 2. For the Arrow collection is the 12 Monkeys. Now, if you want to jump forward in the past, let's go back to the past. Hello.
Whoa, what are you doing?
Where have you been? Whoa.
What am I doing?
What? Hang on, doesn't matter.
Jeff
Just like this.
Goldblum, the one and only Jeff Goldblum.
Just like that.
He's got a new album, Jeff
Jeff
Goldblum.
Goldblum's got a new album out.
12 Monkeys.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, you found
Yeah,
Candyman.
Jeff.
Well, you found Candyman, I suppose. Couldn't find it for the last video, could we? No.
T-Rex Andy? No, I'm just
Not at all.
You're not a T-Rex.
Thanks for watching.
T-Rex. Found Candyman though.
Okay, so that's the 12 Monkeys promo video unboxing. Before they were called Weird, Wacky but Wonderful, but yeah, definitely a bit mental, the Arrow videos, especially if you check them out. So yeah, 12 Monkeys was released. Now the thing about 12 Monkeys is, it is a total what the fuck entry, because I've just watched it, right? I've watched it over 2 nights. The thing is, 12 Monkeys has been released before on Blu-ray, and I've just put that on, and okay, maybe he's on a fucking 50-inch plasma HD 4K jizz factor fucking surround sound system. You might know the difference, but I didn't. Well, not. So yeah, so when that first came out, I was super disappointed. I liked the new cover they brought in. You know, the screaming monkey, like the church, the silhouette there. I love the score. Doot 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 doot. Make a bitchin' fucking soundtrack. Needs releasing. Red vinyl. The monkey's going around it. It's there. It's got money written all over it. Take my money now. Take it. Take it. Take the fucking money. Yeah, that'll be mint. But yeah, 12 Monkeys coming out on Arrow. It's what the fuck, because I mean Terry Graham, Time Bandit. So yeah, they brought that out in the black version. Now back in the day, actually, I was saying that. Oh my god, I do have 12 Monkeys on Laserdisc actually. There you go, that's 12 Monkeys back in the day. Small box VHS. It's what meant that. That's pretty much an deal. But yeah, anyway, 12 Monkeys VHS. Again, it's been reissued a few times. Now, when 12 Monkeys first came out, it had a flip cover, and that was a flip cover. Bruce Willis, like a Terminator eye, with the side was a Brad Pitt and that behind it. That one comes with nice art cards, and it has had a TV series. But as well as the TV series going a little bit different direction, making Jeffrey a girl and all that kind of stuff, the TV series is pretty good. It was an idea. It's better than the remake, because 12 Monkeys is definitely a standalone film. It does have the grainiest factor. It does borrow a few elements, but it's batshit crazy. It's totally like a weird twist in purgatory, and Bruce Willis is phenomenal in it. Bruce Willis, big year for him. Die Hard or Vengeance, The Fifth Element, 12 Monkeys, and then Jackal, all in the same time period. Bruce Willis showing that he can fucking act, and Brad Pitt just absolutely about to explode. But when it comes to Arrow release, it's like, what the fuck? It's already been out. It's already been out, and it's already had a special edition. It's had a steelbook. If you check out the Weird, Wacky, Wonderful episode, fucking running around with a fucking quilt on us. I don't think I had the Laserdisc when I did that. I'm not going to bother digging out the Laserdisc. Sure, I have got the Laserdisc. I'll have a look for the outtakes. But for it to be released, it was like, what the fuck? And I was so disappointed. No steelbook and no big fat box edition, so it gets a what the fuck for that. That would have been a bitchin' fucking big box. New artwork, and then I mean, even the flipping artwork is just that but white, and it's just like, well, what are you doing? Do you know what I mean? I'm happy to get a slip cover, but I was just super disappointed. The comedy tracks on there, the documentary, the Hamster Factory, is it all in his head? Commentary on there, Hamster Factory. Yes, they've redone and commissioned artwork, but oh man, it was a total letdown. But yeah, got it out of the way. As I say, revelation of revisiting of that is the score definitely needs releasing, and I don't think yeah, I'm sure I have the steelbook. There's a disc. No, it's not gonna happen. There's too many laserdiscs locked up there. I'm sure I've got it, and it's the Bruce Willis with the Terminator eye, you know. But yeah, this is 12 Monkeys. Entry number 2. No idea what the third one is. Just waiting for another video to render. Yeah, probably disappointed. I probably wouldn't have been disappointed with that big fat box edition and a fucking steelbook, but no. It's a flat out edition, like Heathers. But yeah, the film's mental. You know, Bruce Willis seeing himself getting shot and living his life over there. And I like the revelation of like her discovering he got shot in the war and there's his bullet, and you know, Brad Pitt's performance and Bruce Willis' performance are absolutely brilliant. It's so quirky and, you know, so grainy, and like, what the fuck, there's a fucking bear up there and lions running around. And again, look at the we're living in. It's October 2020. The world's gone in a massive pandemic. It's a few years out, but you know, Someone definitely seen that coming. But yeah, see you for volume 3. Hello and welcome to entry 3 for Arrow videos. Volume 2. Okay, I've just sat through The King of New York. Amazing artwork by the dude designs, Thomas Hodge. Really cool cat. Christopher Walken is. Where's Christopher Walken's name across there? King of New York's been knocking around for years, and Christopher Walken always delivers. And this has appeared in The Good, the Bad, and the Wtfs before. I did Volume 1 for Wesley Snipes well over a year ago. Never got round to Volume 2. Could never build myself up to opening disappearing acts and, you know, stuff like that. Sitting in a pile somewhere. Actually, it's there. There you go. White Men Can't Jump not open. Disappearing acts not opened. Marksman and Tufu Wong. I can never. Whatever that one says. 4. But anyway, had to go for a bit of purple. Love the artwork for this. King of New York. It's always synonymous with just Christopher Walken just standing there. Mainly that you would get on most. Christopher Walken's been in some amazing films. Really turned in some brilliant performances. But he is a cool cat in this. And vicious, you know. For a guy you can be this vicious and then be the fucking intimidated by a mouse and Mouse Hunt. But one thing about this movie is fucking supporting cast. Wesley Snipes in an early role. Lawrence Fishburne in a weird role. Like, Lawrence Fishburne's weird in this. Steve Buscemi's in this. The ginger guy from Hudson Hawk from Miami. There's loads of guys. The guy with all the tattoos, always see him in Steven Seagal movies and stuff. There's loads of people. There's a couple of imperfections, I think, with the picture and that. And the sound drops twice in this movie, you think. I thought my PlayStation's been on the blips, but no. The sound went on the blips again. I love some of the blues and the colours in it, especially the shootouts and when they're running around the car parks and stuff. There's a lot of rain. Music score is very heavy in this as well, and it does really stretch out. I mean, 103 minutes doesn't need to be that long. I think it could have been like shortened down. Been really cool to get the extras again. Going back to what Arrow gets, you know, this hadn't been available on Blu-ray before. New commentary, the documentary, looking back in careers, newly commissioned artwork by the dude designs. Yes, I picked this up the other night watching comedy and just watching the movie and then finishing up there. Again, to me, it's, you know, it's just the vibes of the time. You know, it's brutal. You know, some of the does have some shock deaths in there. I mean, it's before Goodfellas, isn't it? So, a predecessor to, you know, New Jack City. When it comes to Arrow, I think it's great that's on Arrow's label. It's a nice score for them. I remember the steelbook being very sought after, and again that imagery that the dude designs did on the front cover of the steelbook. I know my friend Adam picked it up. I only picked it up in the offer, you know, and as I say, it's part of my Wesley Snipes collection, but now my Arrow collection. I really do need to remember to bring in stuff like Big Trouble in Little China Mavis in this one, but I mean, the drop in the quality was a bit, but you know, it's not a bad film, but like it's kind of like it's great to see the actors in it, but it's kind of like it's a little weird. Lawrence Fishburne I find too distracting in this movie. Not that Steve Buscemi's called test tube in the motherfucker, but just the way he acts in that, it's almost like Wesley Snipes and him with the wrong way cast around. So again, it's not like I want to run out there and shout, "This is an amazing film," and it's definitely not. What the fuck's it? It belongs on Arrow's level, so. Well, it's good for the time, but it's very on the bad, you know. As I say, I mean, again, Arrow doesn't bring that many bad films out. Deadly Blessing sitting on the shelf. I'm not looking forward to rewatching that. Or Satan's Blade. But if they're on the shelf and they haven't been in it, they're going to have to get rewatched. And I'm not the kind of guy that's going to go, right, remember this, Phantasm Boy. And remember, again, cop out. Just watch all 5 of them. There's half of volume 3 done. So yeah, as I say, King of New York has appeared in The Good, the Bad, and the Wtfs. A very good one for Wesley Snipes. It definitely belongs on the Arrow label. I think it's not a brilliant film, but it's not a bad film. It's definitely not what the fuck. Same from the back as well, looks the features. But one of the most interesting thing about it is the support cast, and it carries some absolutely brutal deaths. Where Scarface left off, the King of the New York begins. Yes, what are you getting here? Little artwork card. Yeah, woman waiting, eaten alive. Eaten alive on there twice. Of course it is. Right. See you in the next part. Hello, hello, hello. Right, entry number 4. It is 4, isn't it? Well, again, it's 4. It's Matinee. Matinee. And Mant. So I just watched Mant as well. So Matinee was very heavily advertised in the early stages of VHS. And like before you really knew it was Duro Dante. Tonight I've just recorded a podcast with Paul Ray for Inner Space. And movies Inner Space should have came out on Blu-ray, because it like, you know, like Burb's coming out, then this coming out, and this has like the Graham Humphreys artwork, and then flipped it around. And John Goodman's absolutely amazing in this. John Goodman had his big breakout in the early 90s, and has became an established actor all the way through. I mean, coming off the hand of Roseanne, into this. Iriana is another thing that Joe Dante did. I mean, was it too far-fetched for Arrow maybe to bring out a TV series, because Iriana just seemed to disappear. Few familiar faces from the Joe Dante universe, Dick Miller and stuff in there. And it's pretty weird tonight as well, because obviously I've watched Inner Space, then this, and there's loads of people. Even the General in Mant, who obviously was in the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers, who plays the bad guy in Inner Space, is just randomly in there, and you think, eh. And obviously the guy from Thing from Another World is in Inner Space too. But we're talking about Matinee, and what Matinee is really good, and it's like the 90s had a few films like Pleasantville and all that, when they were like a throwback to the sign of like good times and the joy of going to see the film. So you got to see a lot of Joe Dante's childhood in this, you know, like the AA matinee on like you're going to see movies you never seen. Samuel Jackson talks about this when they used to hang out and just watch Hong Kong movies all the time, and you know, like you just don't get that over here. It's like in, watch the film, out. You know, some people used to hang out at the cinemas all day and discover films, and I think that's what, you know, like again, using the kind of Hitchcock woozy character coming in, and the ambitions of Toronto Vision and all the tricks he's going to play. And again, the guy who plays the cowboy turns up, this is the scared guy, the Cuban Missile Crisis, you know, going on. Girl from, there's a lot of people in this. There's the girl from Mrs. Doubtfire is in it as well. But it's a really good film. It's like, you know, like the idea of it's like this B-movie film, something like Tim Burton would love as well, and the idea that they made a short movie and then just sliced and diced it up for the inner cuts, and how it's, you know, interaction, like the reason they go to the cinema, and obviously the resurgence of 3D, the pictures is finished now, you know what I mean. Everything was 3D, but now it's not 4K, IMAX, you know, there's another, just themed, you know, like an experience of going to see the film. I mean, I remember going to see Shrek 3D in America, and when Donkey sneezed, I nearly shit myself, sprayed in the face and stuff. But you just couldn't do that now, could you? Times are changing. As for an Arrow release, is my computer. It's really loud in the background. It's actually mastering the Arrow rant. Yeah, it exists on Arrow. It just got chucked out. I haven't seen a steelbook. I haven't seen a big fat box edition. I would like to see a big fat box edition of this. I think they could have had a lot of fun with that. I think they missed cube with this, to be honest with you. For the throwback they could have done, you know what I mean? You could have got like a really funky ass poster inside of it. Like a proper funky ass poster. It does come with a mini little book. You can't believe, I mean, he looks like Ant-Man. I mean, yeah. I think a poster would have been done good. Mant, even, you know, classed as its own film, like a short movie, as a way of the extras. It hasn't got commentary, which I was shocked by. There's a lot of, like, you know, Joe Dante's deleted scenes from his work print, from his personal collection on set footage, but no commentary. And Joe Dante actually sits down for commentary on Inner Space and Gremlins and stuff, so it's a shame that they didn't get him for a commentary. Especially at the moment, you've seen like where we're living at the moment with all like the reunited aparts and stuff like that. Like, you know, the way I do podcasts at the moment with my guests, it has to be over WhatsApp and all that. And yeah, someone go, the fucking audio shit and that. I was like, well, at this end, it's recorded properly, Paul Ray's often drops in and out of his thing, but it's coming through a separate speaker. But again, that's the fucking life we're living at the moment. But to not have a company owned by Joe Dante is a little bit disappointing. But I'm not gonna say it's a bad movie for Arrow. It's definitely a good movie for Arrow. But again, it's a letdown in a way, because they haven't gone the steelbook or the big box editions. You know what I mean? So that's the kind of thing. A fucking computer, man. It's been quiet all night. Mastered a podcast and I didn't even do that while I was doing a podcast, but now I'm recording. It's like, fuck you, Stephen. But yeah, if you've never seen Matinee, it definitely needs to be in your Arrow collection. It's a great little story. It's got so much charm. Some good extra features again. The Mant movie, which you just watch straight after. You know what I mean? It's again going back to Inner Space. You know, to Inner Space there when we were doing the podcast, and if you look at when Dennis Quaid is inside his little pod flying around. Martin Short's point of view, there is so much camera work went into his point of view, and at the time where we didn't have this kind of POV look, even when he's hanging off the bloody back of the truck and kissing Meg Ryan and all that stuff, and just slapping himself in the mirror, and he, obviously Dennis Quaid's reacting on the screen. If Arrow had got that, imagine if they released that, because there's scenes where he's even getting interrogated at the table. And you just see Dennis Quaid reacting, because he's reacting there. It's not something they filmed later on, because we're talking 86, 87, and obviously Dennis Quaid's reacting to the footage showing him on the screen. So they would have filmed that, and you're talking a big ass camera doing this, you know what I mean? And that would be a great addition. But as I say, with Inner Space, it wasn't available for ages. Even Paul Ray actually just gave us the Blu-ray, which is an American import, and then all of a sudden it just got dropped out. I think there's been a steelbook online. It's got a comedy track, but again, I think some of the Arrow could have had, definitely, especially if Joe Dante's involved. But hey ho, it's a Warner Bros. Title, isn't it? I know it's Warner Bros. Title because the VHS is just there. It's one of those ones I hope they could have had. But again, when I'm thinking about the Arrows, because I am talking about what Arrow could be, definitely check out my Arrow rant, because I've literally just listened to that before I started recording this. But yeah, Matinee. It lives on Arrow, definitely. It's not as good as The Burbs, so see you in the next part. Number 5 in the Arrow, The Good, the Bad and the What the Fox Volume 2 is Satan's Blade. Now I was putting this one off, but I've decided to put it on because I've got a lot of it to do tonight, so I've just been playing away in the background. Obviously, look at it. Obviously I just faded in from red there. I'm very grainy for a little bit. Because this film it's well damaged at the start. There's a couple of guys, 2 from England. Well, 1 from England, 1 from Ireland, 2 from America. Talking away on the commentary there, just while I was wrapping up a few things. Obviously this is inspired by Halloween and Friday the 13th. Set in a snowy ski resort, and little Indians. Then there was none. After a bank robbery, and who is who? The film's the same age as me. The score is very loud and sometimes not as isolated. The audio drops all over the place. But again, this film's the guys have been saying on the commentary, it's a cult film because it was so hard to get. And by the time this came out, the slasher bubble had really popped. There's a lot of blatant camera shots and that, and there's some really cheesy acting. A lot of people have been hired for the obvious, getting the boobs out. Everyone gets stabbed or shot. Twists and turns, cheesy acting. But I remember buying this, and it was in the 5 for 30, and alright, what's the next one? Trust in an Arrow, trust an Arrow. Right, what's this one about? And you know nothing about it, and you can see what it is. And again, I've watched that back. Yes, it's been restored and all that, but yes, I'm a big fan of the Friday the 13th and Halloween's, and just it is what it is. And just some cheese, and it's all inspiring actually, because it's kind of right, can anyone really make a horror film? Yeah, anyone can make a film. It's just nowadays you need millions of pounds for CGI and all that, but at the grind, if you get a good story and just the idea right. His location, actors, he's the idea. Don't see him stab, fake blood, fake gun, poof, bang. But the score, I quite beginning to like the score at the end there. But again, it's showing you Arrow. Even Arrow's not a master. and it literally looks like real one's been really badly damaged. From what I understand, this never released the pictures. It was done in Yugoslavia, floated around. Artwork was the same as another film called Satan's Blood, which had nothing to do with it. Again, director's approved special edition contents. The director's on one of the companies. Shot in Big Bell, California in 1980, but not released in 1984. Again, so it's been like, the guy directed and produced and wrote it, so it's been done on the hype of Friday the 13th, but then just got lost in the shuffle of how many slasher films were coming around. But it's nothing to write home and shout about. You know what I mean? It's, by the time, I mean, even ending with the lake scene in hand, chucking a dagger into the wood. Like, what the fuck's going on there? You know? Ends on the lake. Again, if you want to see something more up to date than that, Fever Lake, that'll have you going. Fever Lake just takes The Shining, takes Friday the 13th, takes Corey Haim, and just go boom. You're like, what the fuck? And again, that's a perfect example of a 90s movie. You know what I mean? So I'm going to put it in the bad category, but because it's Arrow, I hasn't done that since the last fucking matinee review. But I'm going to put this in the good, because no, I'm going to put it in the what the fucks. No, see, I don't want to put it in the bad, because it's a product of its time. You know, it's an independent made movie, and I think Arrow has done the best they can to preserve it, and that's what Arrow's great about. They've preserved this film, and now it sits on a shelf on Blu-ray and a DVD, a film that was not available, and obviously just mainly a bootleg. But yeah, Satan's Blade, watch out for it. So yeah, I think with Arrow, to me it's a what the fuck, because you put it on your what the fuck, what's wrong with that? It's just like the retro version, and there is some proper yes, it's a what the fuck, but because I'm doing the what good, the bad, and the what the fucks, and I've revisited this, I can appreciate what Arrow's done, especially the colour correction, the audio, and just releasing some of that. You know, they're going to go, right, well, you know, a lot of people's going to go back and go, you're fucking working. It's like a VHS all over again. But yeah, Satan's Blade's in at number 5. Quite a funky cover, blade slash. But again, the blade slashing through a cabin in the woods. You know what I mean? It's like, are you trying to be Friday the 13th? The flip cover. Actually, for now, that's been done. The flip cover can come around. So now we get a knife. To be honest with you, it looks like a knife and a fucking penis. I'm not going to say it as it fucking is. It looks like a fucking angry fucking penis on that. But yeah, in at number 5, Satan's Blade. I shit you not, every night, it's one of the reasons I'm moving out of this house. I'll go to the bathroom, right, and there'll be a fucking slug, like David Johnson, just fucking on the wall, creeping around. And I've come down here because the next movie is going to be slugs. And I'm devastated there's not a slug around. Can't see one little fucker anywhere. No. Oh yeah, not even gonna get in the fucking bath. Wow. So yeah, next part is slugs. Have no fear, slug killer is here. Blue pills to kill the slugs. Dun dun dun. Okay, so last night, the next one for Arrow, I think we're up to 5. It's maybe 6. Getting through this one quite quickly actually. Excuse me. Slugs. Fucking slugs, man. Slug killer. Slugs is blue at the start of the movie. Basically, very young author. Pretty much got his story done. I love that artwork. I want to flip that around. So what I'm saying is, a guy really hit big at an early age, like 23 or something. He wrote it. Sean. His name's Sean Hudson. Wrote Slugs, and it became quite a big hit. And like the horror movie, and when you see this, I mean, again, it's one of those ones that, yeah, definitely on Arrow. Definitely on Arrow. It's a bit grainy in places. I'm sure there's a bit where some guy chucked a pizza box down the stairs. Anyway, there really is an end For some reason I kept the pizza box from last night going, yeah, took it down the stairs in the morning, get a good... Anyway, whatever. Obviously just used to slugs. I mean, any slugs harmed at the end of this movie. But there's like, look like little graboids at certain bits, metal slugs. But there's some proper brutal deaths, like guy that's eating and loads of skeletons going around and like, don't touch that slug, you're going to get it. Or people getting infected by slugs and fucking breaking out and fucking faces melting and shit like that. Or after the boyfriend knocks her off the bed or whatever, she just gets fucking devoured by slugs. It's like fucking hell. Quite like the score on it. I wouldn't say it's an amazing film. I'm just going to put it in the bad category, but then it falls into the what the fucks because it's a movie about killer slugs. But again, it's films like this that we got Sliver and stuff years later. I mean, it's a proper nice fitting an idea for a movie to get it out there, and it's been preserved. And again, this is pretty good as well because they've revisited it with the author, and the author comes in and goes, right, this is slightly different or whatever's different and all that, so it's a collaboration on that, so it's quite good. But yeah, that one was on last night. Yeah, the artwork there, melting face, that's a far better imagery, that. Yeah, so that's Slugs. Celebrated Spanish director, the man behind the truly demented slasher flick Pieces. So Pieces is on Arrow label as well. Yeah, they slime, they ooze, they kill. So yeah, anyone doesn't like slugs, again, I was just gutted that there was no slugs in the bathroom. Hopefully by the time I get around to filming this, there'll be a slug in the bathroom, but the slug killer might have got them. I totally forgot about the slug killer. But yeah, there we go. There's one right there. Da 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 da. Honest to God, man. Fucking creeping out everywhere, man. What are you up to, eh? Looking for slugs too? The re-sliver. You fuckers. Just has to be great. Come back to Big Trouble in Little China in Newcastle. This is mint. Okay, so a while ago I went to see Big Trouble in Little China on Newcastle Wall, and it was pretty cool. It did small and did creepy and stuff like that, and Big Trouble in Little China, Steelbook. Been released twice on Steelbook. Nothing on the back. Fucking fuck you, Paul Ray. Life Force is coming out. Low pan there. James Hong's amazing in this film. Got some art cards and stuff in this one. Jack Burton on one side, so I kind of always felt like this was kind of half-arsed when it comes to a Steelbook, but it's pretty cool. It's the original artwork, you know. Big Trouble in Little China, what's interesting about it is it's 20th Century Fox, so it doesn't really plot the question of like maybe it's Predator 2 coming to Arrow, but I love Big Trouble in Little China, and like if you at the early age not realising it, who John Carpenter was from The Thing to this, it's just like it's an amazing film. It just screams 80s, and for years I've been talking about doing the sequel, a follow-up, reboot, remake with The Rock. Rock would suit fine because if you don't realise it, and I didn't really realise it until John Carpenter and Kurt Russell talk about this, is Jack Burton's the sidekick. It's so funny, scores class, love the soundtrack to bits, style of it, the bit with the smoke and green lights looks amazing. Arrow's got nice commentary on there, some behind the scenes footage. Didn't bring out the big box, which would have been cool. Coming off the back end of just watching Slugs, and you look at Arrow's label and go from Satan's Bait to Slugs to this, it's like what the fuck. But Big Trouble in Little China, love it. VHS, love it. Loved it to bits. So when this came, it was like, right, must own. But when they brought it out, and I will apologise because I'm on moving, this is one of the ones they went, right, this is the new artwork, and they had I've even packed the pop vinyls, they've even gone, the only thing I've got left on the shelf that's not broken is the Guardian. Everything else been packed and gone. They went for this like Raiden's head and exploding chaos, and then they flipped it around and brought like the alternative cover of that. Say it's had a reissue of a different steelbook, but sought after. Kurt Russell's amazing at it. Dennis Dunn. It's really good in it. Victor Wong's quite good in it as well. James Hong's just outstanding. Inspired Mortal Kombat. There's loads of people you recognise from 80s movies in it. It's just absolutely hilarious, but it's so well made, and it belongs in Arrow, so it's definitely one of Arrow's. It's in, if you want to do Arrow top 10, be in there. Got a shadow of a doubt, and one for them to capture. But yeah, Slugs, Satan's Blade, Matinee. John Carpenter definitely deserves to be on Arrow. Obviously, Prince of Darkness, Escape from New York, The Fog, and They Live are on Studio Canal, so you're not going to see them. But like Prince of Darkness, possibly. Sorry, In the Mouth of Madness, possibly. Village of the Damned and Invisible Man have already been bootlegging it out, really, flat packed and chucked out. So the only one Arrow can maybe hit a curveball with if they did Halloween, which is not out of the realm, you know, because especially in the UK, because the Halloween collection's just fucking all over the place. So it would be great to see more John Carpenter. I mean, the Things on Arrow, which is class. But now Big Trouble in China, must own every format. Some of the special effects, once again, especially when they invade the prostitute house and the glowing green ember and stuff like that, it just looks fucking amazing. Commentary's really good, and there's a couple of extra features on there. Awesome steelbook. Shame about the back, shame about the insides. But again, it's a shame they didn't do the big collection and have a poster of it and stuff like that. But yeah, Big Trouble in Little China. I'm not even sure which one this is. Right. Go down. So we've had the Burbs, 12 Monkeys. That's 2. Gangs, King in New York, 3. Matinee, 4. Satan's Blade, 5. Slugs, 6. Big Trouble in Little China, 7. Number 10 will be Waterworld. If not, it'll be before there, because we are going to do a podcast this week finally for Waterworld. But yeah, I just need 2 more really. Not be one tonight, like it's fucking 1:30 in the morning. Meant to be packing and shit. But yeah, Picture Up in China. Brilliant. Right, goodbye for now.
There's another one. I'm in the middle of watching Battle Royale. That's the next video, but there's another slug. It's like 3 or 4 days later after I've totally forgot I was watching Battle Royale. But there's another slug infested by slugs.
Right, the next entry into the Arrow, the Good, the Bad and the What the Fox is Battle Royale. There you go. I'm just trashing it. Went for the alternative cover. Normally you just get the B and the R, don't you? This is a director's cut, so it's weird because Arrow actually put out standard edition and a director's cut. I can't really remember. It definitely didn't have a fat box collection, and it may have had a steelbook, but they have 2 different versions. Director's cut's rocking in at 1:22. 2 hours, 2 minutes. Well done, Stephen. Give yourself a golf clap for that mathematical equation. Right, the first time I ever seen this was in Bulgaria with Jono, Nick and JJ fucking Perry. And like, what an experience, because JJ is a fucking cool cat, man. Like, he's been in loads of Van Damme films, and since I got hammered with JJ, he's went on to like be stunt coordinator in Expendables 3 and The Fast and the Furious. So he's done well for himself. He's an icon. You can check him out recently on Scott Atkins' YouTube. I'll sit down there and discuss some films, but my first experience for this was like Jono, the writer of the tournament, along with Nick, wanted JJ to see Battle Royale, and the film we were working on is the tournament. And yes, Battle Royale, the tournament is a clone of Battle Royale, obviously, but stuff like The Condemned, The Hunger Games and all comes from this fucking weird ass Japanese movie that came on, and everyone, what the fuck. Now the director's cut jumps all over the place. There's flashbacks, all kinds of just mislead you and stuff like that, lollipop sucking and stuff like that, and there's a lot of, they haven't bothered changing the audio for it, and there's a lot of poof, Japanese font coming on all the time. But it's visually amazing, and it's just sort of like these group of classmates just kidnapped. Motherfucker, man, honestly, filmed that much the last couple of days. Anyway, whatever. Where was it? Yeah, I just put on the silent Fight to the Death. Now, I'm a massive fan of the old Godzilla movies, so it's not the first time I've watched them in full on Japanese. And you don't need to follow it, it's just like, there you go, they get the bag, they run off. And it's just like, it's not done like Condemned where it's all CCTV and it's just for fucking insanity. The tournament, again, CCTV. This is brutal deaths, great cast. All the kids involved in this is the fucking deaths, it's fucking suicides, blood guns, samurai swords, fucking seduction, fucking brutal is. It's just like place your bets, who the fuck is gonna survive? Because not being funny, but like when you take and you see you got a massive group of Japanese people in front of you, and they all just fucking go out there, and you're like, it's really clever how it like characterizes certain people. It spends a little bit of time going, right, who's who, so you get right, that's it, and then all of a sudden you're like, fuck, oh, that was brutal, and then like all bets are off. You've never seen it before, watch it with your mates. Put your money on who's going to survive. But I think the director's cut goes a bit wavy. It's weird again that Arrow didn't have it on. It's just the director's cut and the standard cut. Nice big box set, but it needs to be seen to believe. The second one's never seen the light of day on Blu-ray. It isn't book as well, but it's fucking class. It's class, but like it's brutal. But my cherished memory is JJ. Just sitting with JJ is fucking cool. It's fucked, to be honest with you. Again, John took a lot of for the tournament. You can actually start seeing the tournament poster. When I move the camera, the audio is probably going to get sketchy because it was moving. The tournament poster start to appear. Just see Sebastian. But yeah, awesome movie. Belongs on Arrow. So for definite. Bringing that across to the collection. Especially like Old Boy and the Vengeance trilogies now come out as well, so it's not odd for Arrow to dip in to the other side. But yeah, that's the next one. I'm not even sure what we're up to. It was Big Trouble in Little China the other night. Fucking slug in my bathroom. There'll not be that more. How many are we up to? Because I watched Coneheads in the middle of all this. So Adam Sandler's the next one. So we've had Burbs, 12 Monkeys 2, 3 Kings of New York, 4 Matinee, 5 Satan's Blade, 6 Slugs, 7 Big Trouble, 8 Waterworld. Like the fucking camera running out of time. It's a 36 gigabyte fucking memory card. So yeah, me, Paul Ray and Carl are meant to be doing the Waterworld podcast this week. It's the one that's scheduled, but I don't know what's going to happen. I've got a chance to watch another Arrow film tonight. That's going to take us to 9. And then do I wait for the guys? You know, because I don't want to fake it. I can say Waterworld's number 10. I love that film, but like, I might have to fake it. It's the next podcast, but number 9, not sure. I'm going to look on the shelf right now and find something. See you in the next one. Fuck you, camera. Ooh. Ooh. Over there. Oh. Ah. Oh. VHS, baby. VHS is coming out of people's fucking stomachs with James Wood in the early 90s. Like, you want to talk about the good, the bad, and the what the fucks. When Videodrome comes to Arrow, it's a what the fuck. Videodrome is like so groundbreaking for its time. Derry Harris from Blondie trying to break it in. James Wood. Like I grew up with 4 television channels. Channel 5 was a big deal, and that was like in the early 90s. Like America, like Stay Tuned with John Ritter. Big deal. Jeffrey Jones in that as well. But the idea of like having cable television was like the Sky was a big deal. But again, this film's like touching on like what you got on YouTube, the dark side of the internet, well before. I just watched it there and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like the intrigueness, how he wants to track down and find where this rogue broadcast. Yes, I've had a few beers. Broadcast is coming from the foot. And he sort of gets obsessed and like it's like the tumour in his brain apparently, and the gun that turns into his hand, and his VHSs are coming out and everyone's just playing fucking double agents on him, and there's some weird sex scenes and it's just fucking weird. Brits asleep, probably going to think I'm watching a porno. But yeah, when it comes to Arrow, it's totally what the fuck. It looks okay, you know. The special effects is mental. Like the guy, when he just explodes, his fucking brain starts popping out his head. It's just like, what the fuck? This is some brutal shit in this. There's just some weird shit as well, so. Yeah, that's number 9. So I want to give the guys a couple of days to see if we're going to do Waterworld. Or I'll get out the fish tank and that'll be the last one. A Videodrome. What the fuck was that actually? A lot of covers.
I like the colour Arrow's done. Derek Cronin, big film in it, so of course it's fucking weird as shit. Got to see that one knocking around. Aye. It's cool, like, you don't know where to go with Arrow. You look at the artwork and you go, right, all the ones have been nicely like revived and go, this is the way it should have been. Or all the classics with that little bit of an Arrow twist on it. So how do you have them in your collection? So yeah, that is totally what the fuck. That's a benchmark of like, right, the good, the bad, the what the fuck. Like Battle Royale was like, yeah, you should say it, but it's totally like, what the fuck. So yeah, we're in the what the fuck era. Hopefully Waterworld will be the last one. See you next one.
Hello and welcome to the final part of Arrow Movies Volume 2. This is the 10th part, and this is one of the last things that's actually going to be filmed in this room, as you may see behind it. Drastically changing. Now, I haven't had time to watch Waterworld this week and do the podcast with Carl and Paul, because it's a 3-hour podcast, and we've been putting it off for ages. We did Robin Hood over 6 months ago, Prince of Thieves, and we all joked about all the way through then that Waterworld was going to be the next, and it's just been one thing after another. Fair enough, in lockdown it was easy enough to do podcasts, because everything was in the house. So we've been talking about maybe doing a 2-parter. Now, I love Waterworld. I remember the hype is real in Waterworld. And the main reason we didn't get to watch it this week is the chimneys fell in. I'm in the middle of moving house, and with the chimney falling in, they literally need to be in all the way along that wall. For a brand new heating system. Just took the entire heating system out. It's absolutely freezing. It's -4 outside. Like nothing's melting in this house. It's like fucking, it's gonna be like The Thing by the end of the night. Doom, doom. Anyway, so we never got around to film it. It's a frantic move. Everything's getting packed down. Yeah, entire shelves and shit's gone. Anyway, I love Waterworld. I remember the hype being real. I remember like the 95 era. We had like Batman Forever coming out, Die Out with Vengeance, and Waterworld. And I've always been a fan of Kevin Costner in. I've got my mask still on. Always been a fan of Kevin Costner in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and The Bodyguard, but never cared too much about Dances with Wolves, Revenge, Bull Durham. The Postman tried, but for some reason I was hyped about Waterworld. There's just something about it that just looked cosmic, and a lot of people go, "Oh, it's the biggest flop ever." Pfft, whatever. You watch that film, you are into a different universe. Score's amazing. And I just loved it. Had it on big box VHS, got it on Laserdisc. Avid collector. Really wanted the toys, but yeah, it just happens, man. So anyway, when Arrow said they were getting Waterworld, I was like, oh. And again, that Universal Bridge, I was like, oh. And the Fat Box Edition, so hard to get a hold of. I never seen a copy of that on the shelf. I work full to fucking Emmerdale in the background. I've worked in retail and films for 15 years, and like Waterworld is one of the things I just never seen. It's not like I'm saying that after all that time. It's just was so sought after. And then you look at talk about RoboCop, and there's loads of RoboCop still available. Again, Fear and Loathing, a lot available. Like Arrow have been producing quite a lot. They have at the minute through COVID been putting stuff back. But Waterworld was just so sought after. My friend Carl, who is on the podcast with me, been looking for one for almost a year. Now when I got it, I wasn't fucking holding back. I went all the way to the North Sea. It was like 2 years ago. It was one of me and Brittany's second and third dates, and I just went down to the North Sea, pitch black, fucking tides out, looking for a rock to smash it off. I had to open it up, and then if you check that video out, I make the extra mile and effort. But when it comes to being on Arrow's label, it's fucking brilliant, because you get the first ever useless cut. I was going to say that wrong. Horrible word. It's 3 hours long. It's an extra hour long, and being a massive watcher of this and always watching it, when you see how much they've just sliced it all the way through, you're like, what the fuck? There's loads going on. Even the orca from Jaws is in it, and like you're just like, what the fuck? Then the ending, the discovery of what dry land is and stuff like that. It's just absolutely class, but the quality of the pictures mint. I was gutted that it doesn't have a commentary track. Like really gutted. Waterworld actually lives in my fish tank, and like when we were about to do the commentary, I absolutely destroyed all my display to get to the fish tank,
Popped it in. It's got no fucking commentary. And I was devastated. Oh my god. Seize the fish tank. Well, I've got to move it anyway, I'm moving. So, the Cosmic Glowing Right. So in the fish tank we've got Jason Voorhees, who was the original. I had 2 fish in here, they were called Corey. And they both died. One of the Corys died on camera, which was terrifying. Waterworld's there, and Jaws. Push the sharks in there. And yeah, oh my god. Oh, fucking hell. Fucking Bruce is attacking everyone. Well, at least I can put that down so on the floor because it's got to move anyway. But yeah, when it comes to Arrow, brilliant. Well done, Arrow. I released a video yesterday of films that I think maybe Arrow would do, so check that out. So, when it comes to Good, the Bad and the What the Fox recap, starting back at the start, the Burbs, amazing. Shame they didn't do a big box for that. I'm happy enough to have the Steelbook. Love the Burbs. Everyone should own the Burbs. 12 Monkeys, gutted. No Steelbook, gutted. And no Fat Box edition for that. It falls in the bad category. I love the film. I absolutely love the score. I think Bruce Willis is absolutely so underrated in the film. Brad Pitt, amazing. But it's already been out. Come on. King of New York. Get what it is. It's not a Goodfellas, it's not a gangster film. It's a great one for Arrow. They announced that Sutherland Tales is coming out today. I was like, what the fuck? But King of New York's quite forgettable. Matinee, classic again. They could have done so much with that with a big box. You could have, but that's class to have it on there. Satan's Blade, not too bad when I remember it. I mean, you've got to see it for what it is. Aye, fucking slugs. There's been road slugs in here. Fucking slugs every time I go in the bathroom. Big lump in Little China. Doesn't sound very good. Big Trouble in Little China, amazing. Should be on Arrow. Again, that should have had a big box. They've reissued that Steelbook twice because that's the original one. Then Zavi came along and got it as well. Some of the Steelbooks as well are not becoming so sought after now because Arrow is cashing in a lot of the 4Ks and bringing Steelbooks back out, maybe with a little bit of a tint of a hard work. Hard work? What time is it? 12:30. It's after midnight. I've gone fucking Uncle Peckerhead here. Arrow should bring Uncle Peckerhead out. That is amazing. Videodrome. VHS's suits Arrow down to the ground. VHS's fucking snuff. Fucking mental as well as Battle Royale. So there's a lot of what the fucks there. You don't really get a bad film on Arrow. You might go one will go, why is a fish called Wonder on Arrow? And yes, it's called film, but I'll be like, I've just looked on the shelf. And then you look at Governor, and you're like, what the fuck? But anyway, Burbs, Waterworld. Let's say this has been Arrow, the Good, the Bad, and the What the Fox Volume 2. Not sure if there's any outtakes. I started filming Coneheads the other day. I've got tonight and tomorrow night. Yeah, this is probably one of the last things going to be filmed in this room. Review wise, it's, you know. So the next one's going to be Adam Sandler Volume 2. Starting with Coneheads and might jump over between the rooms. But yeah, see you in the outtakes. Here's an outtake for you. Battle Royale, the book. Totally forgot I even had this. Never read it. It's a pretty heavy book, that. Wabang! It's not moving. So yeah, Battle Royale. At least it's in one video. Oh! Here's a quick outtake for the Arrow. This is probably this is the last night in the room. There's so much disappearing. 12 Monkeys. I was like, I'm in the Arrow video night. I just mentioned 12 Monkeys before this got buried. I would have been cursing myself. The cover's totally different. Bruce Willis, Brad Pitt going fucking crazy on there. Bitchin' Laserdisc, like. I've got a Laserdisc collection video, but yeah. Such a letdown, Arrow. Such a letdown. So yeah, no more slugs. Tremors didn't end up being number 10, but Waterworld is, because Tremors isn't out for a while yet. But yes, this is Volume 2, the end of it. And pretty much the end of Arcadia. Sorry if the audio goes woomph. So yeah, just fall under bits. Right, thanks for watching. Goodbye for now.